Let's go to Patrick from Los Angeles. Patrick from Los Angeles, welcome. What's going on?
Hey David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Um, so I just, I feel like okay, that debate was tough to watch.
Yes,
But I think that America has such a short attention span that it won't even matter, honestly. I mean, it had lower viewership than the last one, and
correct.
I just think in general, like, we're so quick to we want our quick, short, 30-second videos. That is not something that most of the people are going to be watching. And I just think it's getting blown way out of proportion. And that's something that's unfortunate that the mainstream media glums onto. So,
It's
um,
possible that you're right. And as I've said, a poor debate performance doesn't change the underlying structure of the election with regard to the economy, incumbency advantage, basically the argument that Alan Lichtman lays out. So, as bad as the debate was, I can't yet say for sure that it means Biden can't win, as crazy as it sounds to say.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it makes more sense that like the majority of the independents that are just like, hey, it's either democracy or no democracy. I don't care if he even passes away 2 years in. He'll at least it'll be a democracy still. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't matter if he's 100% there. He's going to maintain democracy, and that's what they should be running on. Is literally like democracy or authoritarian dictatorship, and that's it.
I agree with you
Period.
that that's the choice, without a doubt.
So anyway, thank you, and happy Fourth of July.
All right, Patrick from LA, great to hear from you. Let's go to Dylan from Phoenix. Dylan from Phoenix, Arizona, welcome.
Good evening, David. Good. I followed along a long time. I lived in
Okay,
Washington.
your audio is
Okay,
doubled. Your audio's doubled, so I don't know if something weird's going on or if it's some kind of
here.
sick joke that you're playing on us.
Please hold. You disabled my headset.
All right, now we've got one audio track of you. That's
Oh,
good. All right, go ahead, Dylan. Okay, and Dylan is gone. Very good. Let's go next to Stephen from New York. Stephen from New York, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hello, can you
Yeah,
hear
you're
me?
on. You're on.
Hi, I've been a fan of your show for a while, so thanks for all that you do. This is my first time here. Are we specifically talking about the debate, or can we just
No,
ask
no,
any
no.
random
Anything you want. Wide
miscellaneous?
open. Wide open.
Okay, cool. What do you say to Republicans who, in a debate, when you're talking about, say, Trump's achievements,
Mm-hmm.
Republicans will typically say, "Well, there was no war under Trump." How do you respond to claims like that? Because people love to say, "Oh, with Biden, we have Ukraine, we have Israel and Hamas." What do you say to that?
It's pretty
How do you
so,
respond?
so there's a couple different things. First of all, you have to ask them what they even really mean by that, because there were all sorts of wars all over the place that the US in indirect ways is involved in and or sometimes looks the other way on. All of these are political acts. That's number one. Number two, Trump did absolutely nothing about Russian incursion into other parts of Ukraine that predated Trump, even though he
Hmm.
claimed Putin was completely under control and never would have invaded Ukraine. Russia was in Ukraine while Trump was president, just in different parts. Number two, we were in Afghanistan under Trump, and Trump promised to get us out, and he didn't do it. And it took Joe Biden coming in and getting us out of Afghanistan. As far as bombs, rockets, and drone warfare, Trump did a ton of it. So, you really have to get them to define what they are talking about. And then at the end of the day, just repeating that doesn't really tell you anything about whether Trump did a good job. Even if it were true, which it's not, it doesn't actually tell you whether Trump did a good job.
Right. I agree with that. Another question I have is, I think a lot of
Well,
I read
Stephen,
an
you know what?
article.
Let's keep it to one question because we have so many people
Okay.
waiting. I really appreciate hearing from you, Stephen from New York, and glad you were able to get on with me today. Let's go to Aaron in Kyoto, Japan. also a website member. Aaron in Japan, welcome to the show, and thanks for your support. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you.
There we go.
Yeah.
How are you today, David?
Doing well.
I'm calling today with tears in my eyes because your interview with Royce White was purely magical, especially as a Minnesotan myself.
Well, I
But-
appreciate that.
so-
Yeah, it got him into a little bit of trouble, I guess.
Yes, so that was fantastic seeing all that. My question though is like, I live outside the United States. I don't have much exposure to Kamala Harris. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what's all the negativity around her? Like, all that I really know is like she's a cop in terms of like negative stuff. But do you have any ideas or like direct information to help me out?
I think that her public presence is not managed in a way that makes her come off as super likable. As some in the audience know, right before the State of the Union, I was invited to go to DC and have a meeting with a few other creators and the vice president. She was extraordinarily smart. She was extraordinarily personable and likable. And it's a completely different Kamala than the one that you normally see on TV. So I think part of it is sort of like a reputation management aspect to it. I don't think that sort of like the best things for her to work on are necessarily being delegated to her by the Biden administration. So I think that may be a factor. But you make a good point, which is, why is it that her reputation isn't better and her approval and favorability aren't super high? I believe it's that the public-facing version of her is not managed to give the best impression.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I wish you and the family the best.
All right, Aaron in Kyoto, great to hear from you. Let's go to Brett in Chicago, also a website member. Thanks for your support on the website, Brett. And what's on your mind?
Of course, David. Good to be here. I wanted to ask you if you had any strong opinions on Chicago-style pizza, if you've been around here and if you have if you've tried the different places.
Are you talking about deep dish?
Of course, talking about deep dish.
I don't like it.
The Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I figured that. The
Why?
way-
Tell me, hold on, let's explore that. Why would you assume I don't like deep dish pizza?
Well, I've heard you talk about the benefits of turkey bacon before, and your general, liberal diet, like the heft of Chicago style pizza.
No, listen, I reject that completely, Brett. Let me tell you what. Are you familiar with Argentinian style pizza?
I am not.
Okay. Argentinian pizza is very heavy. There's pies that are loaded with, a kilo of mozzarella. It is not the heft that bothers me. It's really two things. Every deep dish Chicago pizza I had in Chicago now I know it'll be all Jordan Peterson. You don't like Chicago pizza because you've never had real Chicago. It's like what you're saying, what Peterson says is wrong because you don't really understand it. No, listen, I went to Chicago. I had the pizza. Here's the thing. The cheese to crust ratio is completely out of whack. The cheese to sauce ratio is completely out of whack. And I really would recommend Chicago explore Argentinian style pizza.
And then perhaps a Detroit style might be another option that you might want to check out.
I did try Detroit style pizza when I went to Netroots Nation up there. I don't remember much about it. I think it was like sort of fine.
Okay, that's fair. Just one quick thing I heard from a Republican leaning or right leaning subreddit somewhere.
Yeah.
Project 2025. People are saying that Trump hasn't actually said anything like directly linking him to it. It's like a Heritage Foundation thing. And like how strongly do we know of the link between the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, and like the second Trump term?
Trump has indicated that he will do things that are in Project 2025 in terms of replacing career bureaucrats with political activists, retribution, all these different things. So it's fine to say Trump hasn't said, I love Project 2025 by name, but he's made it clear that his agenda will be very much simpatico with Project 2025.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you very much, David.
All right, Brett from Chicago, great to hear from you. Let's go to a break. We did calls. It went okay. I don't think it's going to come back to be a regular feature on the show, much to the pleasure of, I think, the majority of the audience, but we did it. We heard from some people. We will do it again sometime, just not every week. All right, so let's take a very quick break and the show will continue.